Chuyên gia dạy với con.
Okay. So we can see now. Do you see the screen? Not yet. So for VSTEP listening, in part 2, we will focus on some different kinds of information. This can be about details, the main ideas, the attitudes, opinions, and feelings. So we have some tips to focus on in this part. Before we listen, we should look at the instructions, questions, and unfinished statements. They may indicate what is in that part of the recording. You therefore can predict ideas or words relevant to the topics that you will listen. Number 2 is that you need to read the first question and the possible answers carefully. So by doing this, you will be prepared for the first question when the conversation begins. So it means that over here, when you are waiting for the listening, you still have some time. So if you do quickly, underline the keywords and read the questions and read the answers of some questions at the beginnings. And so when you hear, you already have some information in your mind. Read number 3 is that you read the possible answers to the other questions too. This will assist you with predicting and prepare you to move on to the next question as the question change. Then you underline keywords and phrases that you think may help you listening for the answer. Make sure the keywords and phrases are related to the specific topics of the question. And be ready to give answer to the first question as soon as the passage begins. The answer may appear in the first sentence of the speaker. So this is very important. So when you do in listening for part 2, then usually you, after the listening is on, you get the information for the first question. So that's why you have to be alert and try to predict and select the correct answers at the beginning. While you are listening, you select the answer based on what you hear, not your own knowledge or opinion. So this is totally different from part 1. In part 1, sometimes the information can be the synonyms of the things, or you have to understand the conversation. So for this one, based on what you hear and understand, it is the answer. Don't choose an answer just because you hear a word or phrase from it. So you need to make sure that you understand over here that you choose the answer when you understand the related information to the information in the answer and in the listening. Don't stop listening even when you think you have had the answer. If it means over here that when you select the answer, you stop listening, you do something else. No, you keep reading with your hands and eyes, but your ears still listen. So still listen. You need to listen it until you make sure that the answer is correct, or you find out information about the change of the information for the next question. The speakers can change their minds and correcting themselves or adding more information. So this is very important. When you select the answers that you hear, and then sometimes they correct, and you make sure that you change in accordance to the changes. Okay, if not, the answers can be wrong. And after you listening, you are listening to your test. You need to check the answers again. If you are not sure about the answers, cross out options that are clearly wrong. It means you do not leave two or no answers on your question. You try to select the answers that you think is the most common. It could be right by eliminating or delete something that you don't think is right. Okay, so do not leave blank. It means you have to circle something. don't leave it without anything. Okay, and we have some tricks over here that watch out for answers that are true. So it means over here is that some answers that are true but not related to the question. So we need to be careful with the question. So the question asks about something, and this, the answer is clearly, and you think it's true, but it's not related to the answer. At that time, it's easy for you to get the wrong answer. Don't answer too quickly. So you can tick on the answer, but don't decide that it's the answer. And then read on the options before you choose. I think that's the ends of this theory. Now we move on to some practices.